Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Mansbach from the BCAT Research Center. I'm here to bring you another episode of Dear BCAT. This is our series where we answer questions from professionals in the field. I'm quite excited to respond to a question that we recently received regarding brain health. It's interesting that we've, I'd say over the last 6 months, received quite a few emails regarding this topic. So I'm going to respond to this particular inquiry, but our plan is to have a mini series of Dear BCAT where we address some brain health questions. So let's go ahead and begin with this question from Dr. Alice, who lives in Oregon. So it sounds like this is her question. My question pertains to brain health. I recently attended a webinar in brain health, which was entirely about a specific brain training program. Their claims for the benefits of brain training seemed extreme to me. So her questions are, is brain training the answer to protecting the brain as we age? And then secondly, can brain training really prevent dementia? Well, Alice, Dr. Alice, this is a great set of questions. So let me approach this by first talking about brain health. I'm going to present our view at the BCAT. So first, a definition of brain health. It's been variously defined, but we think about it in this way. Positive brain health implies optimal or ideal integrity or preservation, if you'd like, of neural circuits. So that's structural, the brain itself. And preservation of strong cognitive and psychological skills that impact daily function across the lifespan. That's kind of a packed-in definition, but essentially, positive brain health implies or requires that the brain's working well and that a person can preserve cognitive and psychological functioning to positively impact daily EDLs, IEDLs, everyday life. It's a dynamic outcome determined by heredity and experience. So that means that experience is important, like practice, like doing specific behaviors, but you can't discount the role of heredity. That's an important factor as well. We like to say it's about what I am born with, what I do with it. The idea is that one has agency, that is, one has the ability to do things to improve and protect brain health as you age. So it's aspirational. What I mean by that is it's not a destination, you have brain health and then you can stop. You keep, as you live, trying to improve your brain health. It's an active, dynamic, so it's a continual process, isn't it? Lifelong. You might think about it as a lifestyle, not just as a set of behaviors. It's person-centered. All that really means is that it's specific to an individual's capacities and needs. I think there's a sort of biomedical aspect of this that I'll pull out, which is it's largely associated with cardiovascular health, but mostly that's in the subtractive sense. That is, poor cardiovascular health can impact on brain health. It's not the only factor. It is just one key factor if you look at the science. So the question was really about brain training, which is not the same thing as brain health. I'm going to talk about brain training specifically in just a minute. But when we think about brain health at BCAT, we talk about it in terms of 5 primary features. There are more than 5, but there are 5 that are primary features. We call it Brain Health 5 or BH5, and our programs that emphasize brain health are very much tied to these 5 features. So they are cardio exercises. Now this is from a brain health standpoint. So a minimum of 10 minutes per day, depending on the right kind of cardio exercises in this case. Cognitive exercises, we rely on working memory exercises, WMEs, centered breathing, which is akin to a type of meditation. Diet, we talk a lot about the mind diet, which is a nice integration of cardiovascular diet and Mediterranean diet issues, and social engagement or meaningful engagement with other people. Of course, that's idiosyncratic because everyone has somewhat different need for social engagement, but almost all people have a need for social engagement. So there's a cardio component, cognitive component, a centered breathing component, diet, and social engagement. On another Dear BCAT, I'll try to go into much greater detail on these 5 things. So Dr. Alice had asked about brain training. Now that's different. As I said, it's more narrow. Brain training is a set or a program of non-pharmacologic, so non-medication oriented cognitive activities or exercises. They're purported to maintain or improve one's cognitive abilities. Of course, many of these claims are exaggerated. We've done a lot of work in trying to understand what brain training programs actually work, what ones don't. So it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I think everyone who's listening to this call is familiar with brain training products that are out there. You may remember that in 2016, the company that supports Lumosity settled with the FTC for deceptive advertising. What that really means is that the claims for the efficacy of these programs far overreach the actual evidence. So this still continues. I don't mean necessarily with Lumosity, but with many of these brain training programs. Now, there are other, not so much brain training, but cognitive exercises and games that are out there, and they're perfectly fine. Wordle is one that's really, pretty common. And they're fun, but there's not convincing evidence that they improve brain health. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do them, but it's an opportunity cost if you look at those as actual brain training opportunities. With regard to the science of brain training, just kind of looking under the hood a little bit more, in our view, there's clear evidence that some specific brain training exercises improve performance on the trained tasks. Less evidence that training improves cognitive performance on related tasks, and rather little evidence that brain training improves general everyday cognitive performance. So, Dr. Ellis, in terms of your questions, generally speaking, brain training alone in and of itself is not going to protect one from dementia, probably won't improve brain health either. The best cognitive or brain training programs or exercises appear to be those that are very much about working memory exercises, and they have to be tied to specific functional tasks. So that would mean at the level of the brain, there's a heavy recruitment of attentional processes and frontal lobe involvement, which is very much executive, isn't it, in terms of cognitive performance. Furthermore, these exercises, even working memory exercises, must be frequent. Optimally, that's 5 times a week, but that might be impractical for some. Maybe 3 times a week is a better goal. They have to be progressively challenging because you learn how to do them, and they're no longer going to promote neuroplasticity. They should be validated, not just merely based on science. The exercises must be integrated into one's everyday lifestyle for performance improvements to be maintained. In other words, if you stop, your gains will stop too. But as we indicated with the BH5, the Brain Health 5, cognitive exercise alone just is not enough. So cardio-cognitive, center breathing, diet, social engagement, they're necessary. They can be used in lots of different ways. They can be used in treatment situations to support cognitive, mood, and functional goals. They can be used every day as a buffer against aging and pathological diseases. There is some evidence that if you do all 5 features, you're going to improve your chances against pathological diseases like Alzheimer's disease and others. In a very specific sense, they can improve cognition, mood, and ADLs and IADLs for people with MCI, mild cognitive impairment, and mild level dementia. They can get better if you do BH5. And we think that it's an essential component of a successful discharge plan, whether you're a rehab therapist or behavioral health therapist or in medical provision of medical care, discharging people from a treatment period. They need to be treated or discharged with an actual plan, post discharge plan. And BH5 is very good if you want to, again, improve cognition, function, and mood. There's some very specific applications that use BH5. You can get 3 of those 5 features through the 15 for Me program, stress reduction. That would be the cardio, cognitive, and center breathing, and you can add diet and social engagement to that, and then you have a nice package. Counterpoint Health Services, which is based in Maryland, has a program called the Brain Health and Psychiatry Center. This is a really wonderful application of BH5, a very comprehensive kind of evaluation of behavioral health, neuropsychology, psychiatry, but with very specific and prescribed BH5 exercises. So Alice, I really appreciate your questions. I hope that I was able to address them. If you or any of our listeners have additional questions about brain health, just reach us at info@thebcat.com. As always, if you're not following us, you can follow us in many different ways on Facebook at the BCAT, and Instagram, the BCAT Test System, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you have not signed up for free membership for BCAT or Enrich, please do so. You'll get all of these educational videos and other information at no cost to keep you current. Again, I'm Dr. Mansbach. Thank you for spending some time with me today on brain health. Stay tuned for the next installment of Dear BCAT. Bye.